So here we go then, part 2 of the refit your garage, better ways to work your garage basically, with a motorcycle collection. The yard work has been done. The long miles have been done. There's been a lot of sweat, a lot of effort goes into it, but we're really happy with the result. And for this particular motorcycle owner, what the BiGDUG system has given him is space, control over what happens with where he can put stuff. It's versatile, it was easy, and it's been quite a learning process from us to use the bits from BiGDUG. We'll run through them. You've seen the floor being laid, and then we made the units. The units are very, very simple to put together. You don't need a screwdriver, you don't need a bolt. They're just put together with a mallet, a rubber mallet, knock them into place. You don't need us to show you that. It's very simple. Go onto the BiGDUG website. There's videos there on how to construct all of this. This video isn't about how to construct it. This video is about our experience with it and to tell you what we think of it. So down this wall, we've got the small shelving units. You can find all the details to this under this video. You can search MoreBikes.co.uk for the feature on this, or you can see it in various magazines produced by Morton's, and we'll give you all the details of everything that we've used. This shelving unit we've used 4 of down this wall. It gives the owner a lot of variety for, obviously, whatever he wants to put on shelves. They're shelves, but they're shelving units. So you've got the versatility without them being sort of bolted to the wall as traditional shelves. You can move these around fairly easily. It's MDF fiberboard. On the shelves, you just slot those in and then you can move these up and down. They have a nice crossbar on them, which means that they can carry quite a lot of weight. And these do carry a surprising amount of weight on them. You can really load these up, which is perfect. What this owner has done is he's gone down with all the different motorcycles. So he's got his Fireblade here, his RGV, his GSXR, and his ZXR. And so he can segment this all out. That's quite nice, quite envious of that, to be that organised. But what he particularly likes, and what he's told me, is that it's the space that this system has created. Before this, when we came in here, you really couldn't move, and you had 4 motorcycles in here. Actually, no, I think you had 3 motorcycles in here, and you really couldn't move because everything was sort of piled up, and there were 3 bikes, and it felt cramped. But by doing it this way, we've opened up the space, and as you can see, you know, there's no problem with space in here. We've got the GSXR, we've got a Fireblade, we've got a ZXR, and we've got the RGV, and it all sits nicely, and there's plenty of room to get in and out. You can tend to the individual bikes. On top of that, he's managed to put a ramp in here. So he's got a proper pump hydraulic ramp. That's a Sealy ramp in here. So it's not small. It's a good size ramp. You can put a super bike on there, and you can put it on with a paddock stand as well. It has a detachable ramp thing that goes on there. So he's got room for that also. On top of that, he's managed to get a decent size, well, really big tool chest in here. So the tool chest is in here as well, and he's got full access to that. You know, you can get in and out of there even with the bike on the ramp. So that's a benefit of laying it out all properly with the shelving units. The big benefit is the flooring. And the flooring, you've seen us laying the flooring for him, and the flooring was easy to lay. It took a bit of time. It took us, Gary, the cameraman, will remember, 4 hours, Gaz? Yeah, 4 hours. 4.5 hours, something like that, to lay the flooring in here. The majority of time was taken up with the edging, because we were cutting the edging, we were cutting the tiles individually, and we were getting it all snug as we can, because as you can imagine, no garage is completely square, so we were doing each tile as we went round, and that was the majority of time. To lay the actual centre was dead simple. Maybe an hour to lay it all down. You just knock it into, you knock the pieces into shape together as you see fit. We used the double garage pack from BiGDUG for this, of the tiles, and they come in black and grey checkerboard. We didn't do that. We decided to lay it down so it's black on this side and it's grey on that side, just to differentiate the garage really. You can see how we've done it. We've sort of like, not blended it, but we sort of alternated it as we went down the centre seam. And it works an absolute treat. Dead easy to do. You put it all together with a heavy mallet, which I've got somewhere. Oh, here it is. So you put it all together with this. It's just a heavy mallet that BiGDUG provides you with. Just whack it into shape. You've seen that on the video already, but it's worth saying how good this system is. I'll show you one of the tiles, just to recap. So the tiles are this size, and they're about 15 mil thick. Recycled plastic is used in their construction as well. And I'll show you the underside, because this is something that we've discovered. So the underside, as you can see, it's just a normal sort of grid moulded pattern, but this traps a bit of air under there. And this is the weird thing, you're probably sitting there watching this thinking, well yeah, obviously, but until it was down we didn't realise, but there's quite a thermal quality to this, especially as the weather's coming in and it's getting colder now. The floor's not as cold. Obviously there's no dust or anything like that coming up from the bare concrete floor. We haven't had to seal it, we haven't had to use any adhesives, these things go down. And on top of all that, we changed the tile. Something was dropped on the corner of a tile and it was fine, the tile was absolutely fine. But the owner said to me that, because I changed it, just out of curiosity, he wanted to know how easy it was to change, and I wasn't 100% sure. So we had to go popping it out. So we popped out the tile. All we used was a flathead screwdriver. We worked it into the seam, worked it up, worked it up, worked it up, lifted the tile out, new tile in, got the mallet out, whacked it straight back down. It took less than 5 minutes, and we've got a new tile in, and it's absolutely fine, and you can't see anything, and it's brilliant. So that is a big benefit, and something that hadn't occurred to me when we started doing this process. If you'd sealed this down, put a vinyl flooring down or one of those poly floors down or something like that, you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd probably have to cut a section and redo it, and even if you could do it. But with this, you can just pop the tile without damaging any of the tiles around it, put a new tile in, whack it down. 5 minutes, job done, as good as new. Worth bearing in mind. These, I can't rate highly enough. I think they're fantastic. Really useful, very easy to use. You do need an angle grinder to cut them. BiGDUG lovingly tell you can do it with a Stanley knife. You could, but I think it would add a lot of time to it. So get an angle grinder and do it that way around. It makes a bit of smoke, but you know, it's fine. They have an edging strip on the flooring, as you've seen, and with that you can do that with the Stanley knife, no problem at all. But for the big jobs, get an angle grinder. These are fantastic. Really recommend these. These are 10 out of 10. They're not cheap, but the durability, the versatility, how they've performed with what we've done, and the fact we've got a ramp on here, a real heavy tool chest, a super bike on the ramp, there's no deformation, there's no compression, it's just great. We would use this everywhere that we can from now on, worth bearing in mind. So that's the flooring tile system from BiGDUG. Check it out on their website, no problem at all. So going back to other elements that we had from BiGDUG in here, we've got the shelving talked about, we've shown you the floor, we fitted the floor, and we're very happy with the performance of that. Now we come to the pièce de résistance. Watch this, because the one thing you might remember that we talked about was the MoreBikes system. Well, this here is the MoreBikes system. The MoreBikes system is much more like the industrial racking that you'll see if you go into a big shop storage or a part storage or any sort of warehousing. This is what you'll see probably. The MoreBikes system is just simple to use. Again, you don't need any tools for it other than the mallet that BiGDUG provides you with. It's 22mm thick fiberboard in here, and then it's just these orange arms that go across and lock in to wherever you want them to these pre-made, pre-fixed end panels. And what I've done here is I've fitted in a MoreBikes system, which is this part here, and then this side is an extension. It keeps the costs down, and it's really versatile. That's the reason we did it. Because we needed this versatility. The owner's got a project bike, and the project bike has spent the majority of its life, in fact all of its life, in storage. And he wanted it out. He wanted to start this project bike and get it rolling again. So he said to us, is there anything you can do where I can have my project bike but I still need the storage? So we came up with this idea. Speaking to BiGDUG, they suggested this, and this works a treat. This shelving system for uniformly distributed load, UDL, very important that you understand it's uniformly distributed, can take something like 875 kilo. 875 kilo. This project bike right now is probably about 100 kilo. It's a two-stroke. So that sits on here perfectly well on a paddock stand to this level. We can move the level up and down because you've got the versatility. You can put this wherever you want, and you can add other shelves in. As you can see, the owner's got another shelf down here, so he's got some storage under here for things like bodywork and all that. And it's just so simple to use. It is a two-man job. Gary the cameraman and I put these together, and it was a very simple job of one supporting one end. It's just a two-man job because of the sheer size of it. You can't really hold it up, lock one end in, knock it into position, then do it on the other side. You do need somebody to help you with that. And I think these are 600mm deep, so 600mm, you can get a motorcycle on here. And you think 850 kilos, uniformly distributed load. We're not saying you could put a bigger bike on here, but you know, we're very impressed with this. We've put the bike on here, we manhandled it up on the ramp, and then we shifted it across, and we're very, very happy with it. Incredibly stable, not a problem with this at all, and that will stay there for as long as it needs to. So while we're talking about the Mechalux, we're just going to step back slightly to show you a bit about the fitting system. Dead easy to do, as we talk about with the entire Mechalux system. They do send you these sorts of things with the kit as well. Now these are spacing plates. You put these under the feet to raise it up to get the whole thing level. We thankfully haven't had to use very many of these for the owner. It's a fairly level floor, especially with the BiGDUG flooring system on it. So we haven't really used those. With the flooring system, there's these bolts, just the usual sort of expanding bolts that go in to secure all of that. There's these, which are shelves for the fibre board on there to make sure that that doesn't move. Again, we haven't really needed to use any of these. It's more than sturdy enough, more than strong enough for what we want. And then you have these very small sort of drop-in clips, and I'll just show you where they go. So you come to the bracket here, and then on the bracket they basically go in the top and then come round and just drop down. Now they're loose in there, and all that means is that it can't move, and that's just simple. That all comes with a Mechalux system, so you get everything that you need to make it safe, secure, level and locked in. The major part of the benefit of all of this is the versatility, and because of that, with this two-part system, the original Mechalux unit and this extension, of which we could have put more shelves in if we wanted to, you get I think 3 shelves per unit, is this. We've got a motorcycle now that is access, a previously hidden motorcycle that was in storage, that's now on a shelf, and that's accessible, and you can get to and you can sort of measure and do what you want, plus it looks pretty cool. And also on this side you can accommodate a huge tool chest, which you couldn't accommodate before. So we've got that in here along with the motorcycle, and that's the benefit of the Mechalux system from BiGDUG. So that's it really. That's what we want to show you from this system from the BiGDUG people, and how to turn the motorcycle, how to turn the garage into a motorcycle pro friendly garage. There's 5 motorcycles in here, effectively a complete empty garage here on the left. We've got a project bike stored up, and we've accommodated a huge tool chest. And all of that for less money in total than it would have cost for a winter hack bike. But let's be honest, probably we wouldn't have ridden very much, and we would have just had some fun twirling the spanners on. So for us in this stage, for the owner of this garage, he's very happy. We're incredibly impressed with what we've seen from BiGDUG. We love the flooring system. The storage units are dead easy to use, and the Mechalux system gives you such a range of versatility that not only can you accommodate massive things like this tool chest, but you can put a bike up on a shelf and get on with that next project in comfort. On top of that, you get the thermal quality of the floor, which is something we weren't expecting, and overall 10 out of 10 for all of this. So that's it, how to turn your motorcycle, how to turn your garage into a motorcycle pro friendly garage, and all for not much money. If you want to watch any more of this video, go back to the start, look around on MoreBikes.co.uk, check out the magazines from Morton's where we'll be featuring this in print. But for now, thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned for plenty more from More Bikes.